How to get more traffic, leads, and sales with content amplification strategy. A lot of businesses are trapped on a content treadmill. They create a piece, hit publish, promote it for a few days, and move on to the next one. Rinse and repeat. And because they fixate on content creation over promotion, those businesses can't even make the most of their huge output. Their content marketing ROI stays low. Their analytics show barely any growth, and they can't even afford to stop, reevaluate, and pivot. They have to keep going just to stay where they are. But there is a way to break this cycle, and I'm going to share it with you in today's article. It's called Content Amplification, and it just might help you leverage your content 10 times more effectively. Today, I'm going to cover why most of your target customers will never see and consume your content, and how to make this fact work for you. The surprisingly simple process to get as many leads, prospects, and sales from each piece of content you produce, how your content amplification strategy can look like, and the 2 key things you need to figure out, and more. So let's start with the big question. What the heck is a content amplification strategy, and why do you need one? To understand this, you need to realize an uncomfortable truth. Only a fraction of your audience sees your content. It's sad, but it's true. The majority of your target customers will never see or engage with your content. Now, I know it sounds bad, but it's actually good news. It means that you as an entrepreneur don't have to scramble to create as much content as possible, as quickly as possible. Instead, you can focus your efforts on exposing as much of your audience as you can to the pieces you've already created. That's what content amplification is all about. Basically, it's the process of taking a piece of content and repurposing it for different platforms and marketing channels, usually more than once. This approach has many advantages. It allows you to fill several different marketing channels with just one piece of content. It helps you create content in less time because you're mostly repurposing and re-imaging existing pieces. It maximizes the ROI from each piece of content you produce, exposing your audience to it multiple times. Sounds great, doesn't it? Well, let's explore how you can create and implement a content amplification strategy in your business in 3 simple steps. Okay, step 1, identify your main content marketing channels and formats. First things first, you need to determine which content marketing channels matter the most to your business. I'd recommend focusing on 3 to 4 at most. If you try to be everywhere at once, your content quality will suffer. So do this. Pick 2 long-form channels, like your business blog and your YouTube channel, and 2 short-form ones, like your Twitter and Instagram. If you're not sure which channels are going to be winners, consider where your target market hangs out. For example, if your customers are B2B, chances are they use LinkedIn a lot. And if your blog has a vibrant readership, it would be silly to ignore it. Once you know your primary channels, you want to identify the content formats that will work best for them. Articles, podcast episodes, videos, short posts, you name it. Writing these out will give you a clear picture of what types of content you will need to create and distribute to your audience. With all the elements in place, it's now time to arrange them in a single coherent system. Here's how. Step 2. Build your content amplification pipeline. Think of your content amplification strategy as kind of a web. You'll have one piece of content at the center, something you will create from scratch and use as a base for everything else you produce. And from that foundational piece, you will create many more pieces of repurposed content that branch out in all directions. I recommend using video as your foundational content format. Why? Because it usually contains text, images, and audio, which you can use to create tons more content down the line. For example, it's much easier to turn a video into a blog article than vice versa. Does that make sense? After you've identified your primary format, I invite you to map out your content amplification process. It can go something like this. 1, you produce a video to put on your company's YouTube channel. 2, you transcribe and edit the video into a blog article. 3, you create a 30-second version of the video and use it as material for Instagram posts or ads. 4, you pull interesting quotes from the transcript and turn them into tweets or Insta captions. 5, you use screenshots from the video for a slide deck. You extract the audio and make it into a podcast episode if the format allows. and so on. If a video does especially well, you can even repurpose it into a lead magnet or create a follow-up piece on the same video topic or update it with new information. There's a ton of stuff you can do with this. Step 3, promote, optimize, and synergize. Last but not least, you want to make sure that your content marketing channels work in sync to enhance one another and expose your content to as many potential customers as possible. The best way to optimize your content amplification strategy will depend on your specific marketing channels, your marketing funnel, and your business goals. For example, here's just one way you can make it happen. If you can, direct all traffic from your main channels to a single point in your marketing funnel. So for instance, your blog articles, YouTube videos, and social media posts can link back to the same landing page on your website. This will allow you to get a lot more traffic for the same piece of content repurposed multiple times. Alternatively, you can cross-promote your channels, directing your social media followers to your YouTube or your blog, and vice versa. This will help you expose as many of your target customers as possible to your content, even if they only follow you on one platform to begin with. Connecting different marketing channels and using different content formats to expand and reinforce your brand message is exactly what makes content amplification so powerful. It allows you to step away from frantic, low ROI content creation in favor of the number one thing that really matters: promoting your best content and making sure it resonates powerfully with your target market. One more thing before we go. I want to ask you, what if you could take any prospect from knowing nothing about your brand to practically begging you to tell them more in 30 seconds or less? That's the power of a really great elevator pitch, and we're helping our clients create their most awesome elevator pitch so that people understand what you do in less than 30 seconds. If you want to learn more, you can find out at thedrawshop.com/elevator pitch. We're currently offering over 70% discount on this service.